What is going on, people? Welcome back. Johnny here, and we are going to get back to some Rimhammer the End Times with the Beastmen. Think about leaving me a comment. Let me know if you're still into this. Leave me a like at the very least. Come on, people. So our warherd is going to carry on through this episode. We're finally getting pretty close, and eventually we will reach our destination. Hopefully we can defend it. We've definitely picked up sufficient pawns by the end of this to be able to do it. Anyways, here we are at the beginning, and we're mining some steel for whatever reason, keeping up with the meat and the critters. I've made a bunch of Beastmen bedrolls for our journey. I think we're going to try and make some offerings to the gods for additional pawns, and otherwise we're just going to keep making pemmican back home. The problem is it's winter. There's no food. So our caravan is going to trade in 2.5 days. They have 6.1 days of food before it rots, apparently. But we are foraging, even in the desert, we're foraging 84 a day, which is not a lot considering how many pawns we have. You can see the ship down there. We are currently 23.6 days away, but as we recover from our injuries, that will improve. So, I believe almost all of our Minotaur prisoners have joined us. There might still be one or two hanging out. I'm going to finally make some sandbags around our defensive area. You can see the people we have on hand for construction aren't the best, but we do have Great Belly, who's gone catatonic on us. This is the problem with long caravans. There's got to be something you can do or bring to keep morale up. We do have a bunch of stuff I'm going to drop, like bio-coated weapons that are worthless. You can see we've picked up a geothermal generator. Actually, I have 2 comms consoles for whatever it's worth. We have a ship structural beam. Storing on it's worth a lot of money. There's probably nothing we're going to be able to do with it, but there's also no way we're going to be able to bring this many pawns into space because we're never going to get through the research to be able to do that construction. So sadly, somebody's staying home. We have a lot of stuff in storage. I need to free up some space, so we're just going to make some additional storage rooms at the risk of another infestation, but that's okay. These guys can deal with it just fine. And if we lose a bunch of crap, oh well, the Beastmen really don't care so much about that. So, yeah, the food continues to be a problem. Whatever. We'll just keep raiding and we'll keep trading, and I think we'll be fine between that and the foraging. I'm not going to worry about it till it becomes a problem. And if they have to settle and just go on a slaughter spree, or even attacks a friendly settlement to butcher a slew of humans, 'tis what it is at this point. They're beasties. They don't care. So, yeah, world map. I don't know. All kinds of stuff going on. Lots of fun stuff we could do. But down here we have the Great Chaos Portal we could go smash. But honestly, I don't think we could even take that. We would just have to charge everybody in, focus on destroying the gate. And with this many pawns, we'd probably be successful. But anyway, our wealth back home clearly ebbs and flows as raids come in and mechs fall. We did just get Gloomfang joining us. Tough, kind, and bloodlust. He's actually pretty decent for a beast man. Doesn't do much other than animals and mining. And some harpies have joined. So there you go. We have another pack of 4 harpies, one of which is a female. So we should have a pretty sizable animal contingent when we head out. I also need to head out in the spring, most like, so that's a bit of a problem. The timeline's not matching up where I'd like it to. I don't really want to stay here any longer, but I also have to get to the new base and construct my herdstone before we start smashing Empire and Dwarf bases, so we can acquire Sarsen stones and all the extra benefits beastmen get when they destroy the forces of order. So, we have meat everywhere, as you can see. It's high time we started making some offerings, so that's going to be one of the things I'm going to get to before this episode ends as well. Storage, this should solve our storage issues. As you can see, we'll just purge the zone up here and call it good. To get some bone ash bricks dropping out of the sky, which we're just going to ignore. We'll bring the steel in. I really don't even need to bother with that steel at this point. There's just so much steel on hand. So we've made it to Biko of Escabal Covenant, and we're going to do some trading. Mostly the problem I'm having is they don't really have any food. So, yeah, I can sell some material to gather money for next time we reach a trading partner, which we're not too far away. We'll go trade with these dudes over here. They're half a day away. White Brinkador. Here we come, White Brinkador. And be lucky we don't decide to smash you. But back home, a raid does come in, and it is the Bomb Company, which is either pirates. Looks to be pirates. The benefit of pirates coming in is they're always very, very well armed. So assuming they do have some magic users too. Looks like 3 different magic users. But assuming they aren't all bio-coated weapons, which is kind of a headache, we should get some good armaments here. Although most of our non-melee people are pretty well armed. So instead of coming through the trap corridor, they bust down a door. They're kind of splitting their forces, and we'll have to figure something out for that. I'm going to bring some people down with decent magic and Zinch staffs. We were waiting to cast a Savage Dominion that summons a Java Slythe up in the north section, but I'm not really sure they're even going to approach that area yet. So I do some magic out the south gate, Cloud of Flies and Pestilent Breath. We do get enough people to bring a jabber in, and it's time to run like hell. Galkraz takes some hits during that situation, and some of them do breach the base for what it is, but again, we have sufficient strength here that we gave the Skaven a minigun on an unrelated note, but these guys breaching the gate aren't going to be much of a problem for us, especially considering the muscle we have in here. Just one good crack, and down he goes. So those guys up north are tied up with the Java Slythe, and then they'll come through the trap corridor. We can probably ignore them and deal with what's going on in the south. And if they do get through the trap corridor, well, we'll have a whole crowd of people waiting for them. So we're taking some abuse down south. So we did Air of Pestilence, not Pestilent Breath. I might have misspoke earlier. I think they killed one of my harpies down there, unless that was from before. That's we can never hold on to the harpies too long, apparently. I mean, we do have these guys by the short and curlies. They're coming in. I got 3 heavy hitters swinging on them. These guys are still dealing with the jabber up north, so not much of a problem. These guys are standing around waiting, not doing squat. Galkraz, he's got the Ring of Tending, so he automatically tends. So that's a pretty awesome thing. That's why they're always so expensive, because A, you're not used to that just being taken care of for you. B, it's extremely useful. The Jabber Slythe did not... Oh, I think it... No, it didn't fade out. It looks like it's still there. I just zoomed out too far to see it. But anyway, these guys, we're going to give chase to see it. We're actually walking through our own Cloud of Flies, taking some wounds right now, which is not ideal. But I want to bring down many of these guys as I can. So we're going to rescue our harpy that was downed as well. There, we smashed Peter with a giant axe. Good old Chaos Ogre did the job there. I like the ogres. They're a great addition because they fit with any faction in the Warhammer theme. And I find that fun and amusing. So our caravan has made it to the next location. They do have pemmican. I debate on buying meat, but it's too expensive and it doesn't last very long. So I'm going to sell some dwarf bile mushrooms. Selling dwarf bile mushrooms actually makes the food on hand last 2 days longer for whatever. So that must be one of the things that's close to expiration. So we're going to break all Warhammer lore and trade with the Empire here next. We might as well since we're there. And spaceships break Empire lore anyway. So Gulak outside is getting hunted by a Mornfang, which is not good, but he does have some really good armor, so as long as it doesn't catch him in the head, should be okay. This is kind of a frequent problem, the predators here. He also have Blood Tongue out there with some magic, so we're going to do a Drain Life. We already did a Winter Frost, which should have caused it some frostbite. And Gulak's peppering it with shots. Once the spell, forget the spell, we'll just hit it with the melee weapon. There you go. That is a big axe, and a Minotaur swinging a giant axe, it turns out, can down a Mornfang without much trouble. So these guys are 0.3 days away. They're sleeping on the caravan path. We'll call it the warherd. You can see when that raid came in, wealth went up. There you go. So anytime you see a jump in wealth, you can also see the red dots at the top of that little screen that show you when a raid came in, just so you can kind of see. Oh, yeah, so something arrived here and our wealth went up. So they make it to Greifswald of the Empire, and we can sell some material. I need to gather cash. They do have agave fruit. We're going to buy, we have 9.1 days of food according to the when it will rot. Now somehow when we start walking it goes to 12.2. Some definite screwiness in that calculation. I don't know, but RimWorld caravans have always been a little screwy in my opinion. Regardless, we consider some options here along the way. There is the Cloven One city I could yet attack. That I'm saving for some comments. Silverbane finally joins. We have an exotic goods trader, which probably doesn't do us much good, but Silverbane should do us some good. He's got a scratch scar, but otherwise he's cool. I noticed they have magic limbs, but we don't have any money and they don't want to buy anything off us. So I think we need to put, time for more sacrifices. I think we need to put an orbital trade beacon inside our new storage room. Favor of corn. We did get a corn gore that time, so we have expanded a bit more. I don't think I've ever had this many pawns in any colony. So I need to start taking prisoners too, because some more sashes from Slaanesh would be most useful for speed. Some more Zinchian ribbons for our other magic users would be fantastic. There's lots of things we could use, and we're not taking prisoners. We're just killing everybody. So we do get some of our people being attacked, but Chaos Warhound, not much of a threat. I don't care who he tries to assault. It says that big guy is stunned, but he doesn't appear to be stunned to me. So he didn't even take a wound during that, which is just fine. I don't know what was going on there with the stun thing, but RimWorld again. You throw more mods in and more mods in, you get all kinds of wacky shit happening. So do some more trading. I'm going to do, in order to start making some pemmican, we have this Life Bloom spell. I can't improve it or I would, and then I would cast it again immediately. It's also pretty cold regardless, so hopefully the plants we just grew don't die immediately. But whatever. Any pemmican we can get. I think we have about 8 or 9,000 pemmican at the moment. Yeah, 7,650 at the moment. So we have to battle a troll. I send the corn gore in. Once he starts it on fire, trolls are very susceptible to fire. They're highly flammable. And they also don't regenerate so well when they're on fire. So that's a fantastic solution to the troll problem. Kuktaz did take some injuries, but whatever, he's fine. So most of our threats back home are freaking wild animals, predators. This is a common theme in RimWorld. If you haven't noticed that yet, it's always those guys. So we make it over to Trent Brabi of the Escabal Covenant, and they have some pemmican we can buy. We can sell some gorehide and end up selling off all my material I've been saving. We have some critters as well. Something else has to go. We have this donkey. It's pregnant. We also have a baby dromedary. We'll sell that. 0 years old, calf. All right, so that kind of wipes out most of the material we had. It's 15.6 days, it says. We only have 11.5 of food, but we should be able to do some massive foraging once we get into that tropical rainforest. So hopefully we can make it without issue. And we have all this tainted awesome armor sitting over here, and the Beastmen don't care about tainted apparel. The Skaven do, and the Ungor might. But the Beastmen proper do not. So our caravan gets jacked at that point, which it's Beastmen, so that's a good thing because we can, there's somebody, one of these guys must be a Sigmar faithful, unless one of my guys is from the last gathering of people we took. Regardless, if we don't kill them all, some of them may join us. So that's fantastic. We're going to expand our forces. I always have to spend all this time separating out my melee people from my ranged weapon people, and it just feels like a big waste of time. But now the problem we have is that the Ungors with the bows stop and just start screwing around shooting at us, and I don't really have a great way to reach out individually, so I'm just going to send some people over to deal with them. And if we lose somebody along the way, it's certainly not the end of the world. But we're also pumping a fair amount of gunshots into them. I suspect we're going to lose some animals here the way it's going. Our people do end up getting surrounded. I probably shouldn't have sent them out like that. But it's just a matter of time before we slay enough of them to cause them all to flee. Now, the next question is, do we butcher these guys? We do, or could certainly use their hide. There we go. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 new recruits. It's fantastic. We do have a lot of injuries on hand, though. And I'd like to slay the guys that are fleeing as well, so we can butcher them up. And we're going to try and tend. We're going to try and butcher. Well, that'll give us food. That'll give us material. I would have liked to end up at my final destination with like 1,000 hide or some type of textile material. Well, we do have a yak that we're shearing. Maybe it's a buffalo. Either way, we're going to end up with some, yeah, it's buffalo. Bison, sorry. Bison wool. We need to get everybody tended. We need to get our animals recovered. I don't even think that's our dromedary there that's dying, but anyway, a couple of these butcher spots. We'll be out of here in no time. And we do have tons of medicine. I've been buying medicine actively. Given our role in the world right now, it seems like a fantastic plan to keep on hand. So we're 3.8 days away from that city. When we get out of here, we have so much food. We could stand to sell some animals, but we could also stand to butcher them when we get to our final destination. So we picked up 120 bison wool and 191 gore hide that time. And people dropped a ton of crap that, whatever, they probably shouldn't have, but did. Maybe they went down, though. So a lot of people back home have nothing to do. We spot some small ruins. Why not? I said I was going to do it next time we encountered it. There are some Ungor lurking about. Not really what I want to see, but we do have somebody that has Sigmar's lightning, so I might as well try casting it. It's one of the Ungor, in fact. I didn't even notice until that last battle, and then I forgot to use it. So there you go. Sadly, we don't have the comet attack, because that would be most epic. And those plaques to gain those skills. Look at that. Sigmar's lightning flattens that Ungor. Anyway, we're going to butcher these guys. Those plaques to acquire those skills are 20-something thousand silver, and that's a pretty tall order. A lot of shots taken again. Most everybody's tended up. We do have a frail Slangor. I don't know. Or Zangor, sorry. We have regenerate. We do occasionally get healing potions from the dark gods. We need to start making those offerings I was talking about earlier. And we have so much meat just laying around that's going to rot. Well, at least it would rot if it wasn't winter. So we're going to get on top of that. Look how it's 89 degrees here and only 9 degrees back home. That's pretty bananas. That's actually really uncomfortable. I'm also harvesting anything I can. So these hollow dead trees, if they don't botch the harvest, will give us queen bees, which are worth a fair amount of loot. And there's agave around, berries. We're going to just try and get a hold of everything we can and make some sales. I don't have any meditation spots for our wizards, so I should probably do that now that we have some magic users on Caravan. Otherwise, yeah, a lot of people in a lot of negative moods. Slept in the heat, rec unfulfilled. Usually I chop down trees and put up a hoop stone at the very least, but at this point I'm just trying to get the harvest done. See, we gathered a lot of berries. These queen bees, again, they're worth a lot of cash, and we need to, but they spoil really fast, so we need to get our asses on the road so we can get a sale made on those. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I was making sure we had them all. I think there's a bunch laying around the map too, which is just fine. So extreme break risk ×3 all on Caravan. It's a combination of pain and recreation and I guess sleeping in the heat for whatever that's worth. So where to go from here? There's our settlement. I think we're going to have to go back left. It seems to make sense to go east and sell the queen bees. I guess it depends how many we get. They're not going to last more than a day or two at the very, very most. So we need to get them out of here. But you can see our food supplies. I mean, it doesn't say we have many days of food, but it's pretty dramatic. So look at all these queen bees. Yeah, so $300 each, but you sell them for 200 and something. I think we're gonna do pretty well on that, and we'll hit the road. There's all kinds of tainted apparel we don't want. I go through this every time. Usually I don't record it because it's less than interesting, but you can see what that process is once in a while. So yeah, we're going to go back to the west a little bit because I need to sell that crap. Back on the home front, there's all kinds of odds and ends happening, but I've been steady getting favors of Slanesh here, as you can see, offering up all the offerings of meat we can, and we have acquired one additional Slangor. We're about to make it over here to, what is this place called? Backgammon-born. And get rid of those queen bees and see if we can acquire any additional foodstuffs. And they do have cheese. Where's the queen bees? There you go. So just selling the queen bees, we're at $2,520. I've been needing to drop the value of those. I think it's a bit of an exploit, but there you go. Just selling all the steel also dramatically increases our movement speed. They have chicken eggs as well we can buy. They don't last very long, but I don't, hopefully they're going to eat those first. I don't know. Anyways, everybody loves us from all the trading and all the raiding we've done on their enemies. So at least the Beastmen have that going for them at this point. We have 21.5 days of food, although it's going to rot in 5.5 days. It claims. We'll find out what happens. We can sack that beast city too. We're foraging quite a bit right now too, 225 agave. So we just have to limp through till we make it to that map. We can slaughter whatever's there and start a butcher spree. So please leave me a like if you're enjoying. Leave a comment. I read them all. I do respond. I love you guys, and I appreciate you sticking with me through this chaos. I'll see you all next time.